Hello, my friends. This is Rabbi Aharon Dobinsky coming to you today from the holy city of Yerushalayim in the beautiful state of Israel. Boy, it has been an exciting, exasperating, hard to deal with last couple of weeks, hasn't it? I mean, seriously, it's been tough. I don't know about you. My doctor said to me, "You are not to go out." I said, "No, not to go out of what? The city?" He said, "Not to go out of your house." And why not? It's because you are a big, high risk. So why am I high risk? It's because you have a health situation and you're over 65. You are the highest risk group, and those are the ones who are dying. So you will stay in. And I said, okay. Because my friends, even though we don't get into this very much, it is Torah law that when you live in a country other than Israel, or even in Israel, when you live in a country, you are to follow the laws and regulations of that country unless they conflict with Torah laws. Does not conflict with Torah laws to stay home. Does not conflict with Torah laws to stay home and daven, even when you think you could be going to shul, because at shul you're at risk. And it's pekuach nefesh, you're trying to save a life. In this case, your own. So please, before I go any further, I implore you, I plead with you, I beg of you, please, if you are told certain things that are designed to save you from a sickness, please observe them. Why would Hashem want to kill his children? He doesn't want to kill his children. Does anybody get to the whole story of this virus? The whole story is, it's not the Black Plague. It is not the bubonic plague. People don't get it and you say, oh, well, they're dead. I mean, there are some who do succumb to the disease, but there are some who succumb to regular flu. There are some who succumb to almost any kind of thing, heart disease, cancer, et cetera, and the numbers are far greater. And even as bad as that, to violence from other human beings. But one thing we can say good about this, because everything that comes from Hashem has something good in it. So what can we say good about this? Have you noticed, because I have, that people have become, what's the word I'm looking for? Not docile, but they have become more open to talking to people about situations. No, they still have their opinions, and they still disagree. But it's not as nasty as it used to be. The name calling has diminished a little bit. All of the things that went along with expressing an adverse opinion, and we've all done it, myself included, we've said things that were not nice. They're downright mean and downright hurtful. And that's not why we're here. You see, you have 7.5 billion brothers and sisters on this planet. As I've told you before, your self-esteem should go way up because there's no one like you. Self-esteem says, I'm special. Hashem made me special. And that's good. And you should know that. And you should hold on to that. But to temper that on the other side, remember, the same holds true of every one of your other 7.5 billion brothers and sisters. They also have some special purpose that only they can fulfill, just like you have a special purpose that only you can fulfill. We know this. Now, because of this, we should try to be a little kinder, myself included. I have been one of the worst violators of this in the past, and I'm going to try with this shiur to start changing the way I talk to other people and the way I am with other people. You can disagree with them without being nasty with them. You can laugh at what they have to say instead of saying, calling them some kind of horrible name. There are ways of doing it. Think about this particular disease. Where does it come from? It comes from here, from the vocal cords, from the lungs, from the throat, from the mouth, from the nasal cavity, from the eyes, all of which are used to say things. And if those things that they say are good, that's wonderful. And I would love to say that that's all we do ever. We only say good things because we're nice people. We want to be nice people, and we only want to say good things. But come on. You know, and I know, we don't always do that. Well, maybe you do. I don't, and I know a lot of people who don't. So from now on, let's take this thing we call Lashon Hara, which has been talked about over and over again, the evil tongue that puts us on the side of, the opponent, not of Hashem. There are two sides. There's Hashem and there's his opponent. We want to be on Hashem's side. Can I get an agreement on that? I hope so. That's what we want to be. We don't want to be on the other side. So being nasty and being mean and being angry, all of these things put us on the wrong side, and we don't want to be there. We want to be on the good side. Not to mention if that's not enough incentive for us, we need to understand also that when we speak Lashon Hara about someone or someone's, that all of our good deeds from that day, all of our meritorious, all of our mitzvahs, all of the zechut that we've acquired now goes, ironically enough, to the one we talked about. They get it. They get the good. We get the bad. Why would we do this? We don't want to do this. That's the reason we've got to start changing the way we are, and I've seen it on social media and other places. People are being a little bit nicer, a little bit more courteous, a little bit more understanding of other people's feelings. No, we don't have to agree on everything. There's a difference. You can still express your disagreements. We can all do that, but that's as far as it goes, and it needs to be done in a civil way, in a nice way, in a constructive way, not a destructive way. So let's work on that. And let's talk about one other thing before we go today. Do you know this week in Torah, it talks about in detail some of the various sacrifices, the Yolah sacrifice, the Todah sacrifice, the sin sacrifice, all these different sacrifices. And throughout Gemara, it's sprinkled with things on the hate sacrifices, the sacrifices that are for sin. And if that weren't enough, this time, Nisan, which began, today is the second day, there are 13 days going into Pesach. Those 13 days are the days of the Nasi. And the days of the Nasi are the days where we try to commemorate the different gifts brought from the prince of each tribe to dedicate the, not the Beit HaMikdash, but what came before it. My mind is leaving me today. I don't know why. But it was the Mishkan that we take along with us in the desert. Okay, so it's to dedicate the Mishkan. And what you'll find as you lead through all of these different sacrifices is they're all very much the same in substance. In this much of a silver can, there's much of flour, there's much of oil. And it talks about the individual sacrifices. And by far and away, the one that is the greatest number of animals, the greatest number of things to be done to make up for what we've done wrong, is the sin sacrifice. The sin sacrifice. The things that we do on an everyday basis. And we need to stop because it's us that we're hurting. It always comes back to us. The good things we do come back to us too, so don't be afraid of that. The more good we do, the more good comes back to us. But the bad we do comes back to us in a bad way. So we have to realize this. We have to understand that we have 7.5 billion brothers and sisters out there. We're not always going to agree with them. Maybe we'll never agree with them. I don't know. But it does not give us the right to go and calling them names, saying mean things to them, trying to hurt them. These are things I myself have done. And I today with this shiur, I'm going to do my best to change that so it stops. Because change is something we can always do. One of the good things is Hashem gave us teshuvah. And I know I've told you this before, but I'm going to bring it up again. Teshuvah was one of the 7 things that was created before the universe was created. Why? Because HaKadosh Baruch Hu knew we could not survive without it. We need teshuvah. Otherwise, we get so far away from Hashem, we can never come back. We need to be able to say, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I know I did wrong. Please forgive me. I will try in the future to do much better than I've done. And then, and this is the one we often forget, we need to follow up on our vow to do much better than what we've done in the past. So let's take this from today. Let's take it from this pandemic that is taking the world over. This is something that has come to us because Hashem wanted to get our attention. He has, in fact, stopped the world to a screeching halt. Nothing is going on. Nothing anywhere. And it's because of this pandemic. And he put it here so that we can learn some things. 1, how to be nicer to one another. 2, how to be kind to one another. 3, how to be cleaner than we were, washing our hands all the time, trying to stay away from people, trying to not give diseases to people. These are things that we can do every day. Do the things that we need to do. Do you know there are 613 mitzvot that Jews have to do? Now, some of them don't really matter today because they're agrarian, and most of us aren't farmers. If you are, however, you need to do them as well. So that takes some out. For those who are not Jewish, you have 7 Noahide laws. But no matter what the laws you have, no matter what the mitzvahs you have, in it, by implication, is being nice to our brothers and sisters, whomever they may be, wherever they may be. All of them. Even the ones who we find a bit unpleasant and a bit annoying, them too, yes. So let's try to do better this week. Let's try to do better in the future. Let's try to be kind to each other. Let's try to be nice to each other. Let's try to be helpful to each other. Let's try to treat other people the way we would like to be treated. When Hillel was asked by somebody who was mocking him, can you teach me the Torah while standing on one foot? He said to him, what is hateful to you, do not do to another. Good words to go by. Let's leave that as a way to leave this week. You all have a good Shabbos, a great week. You stay healthy, you listen to instructions, and you do what you're told, okay? Be well, my friends. God bless.